All right, happy Tuesday. Welcome to the 10 Weather Impact Show. I'm meteorologist Justin Gehrts.
And I'm meteorologist Aaron White, and it's been a pretty nice day so far. We've had the sun shining, a little chilly this morning.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, the 30s out there, a couple places upper 20s, so we had that freeze warning that quickly went away, and we got 60s, we got 70s out there now.
It's been warming up so nicely, a big change from what we had the past couple of days. I mean, yesterday we hit, I think, what was it, 51 yesterday?
Yeah, 51.
So yeah, way below average, but yeah, today a big difference thanks to those winds out of the south and southwest. A little breezy, but
yeah, not bad though.
You know, when it's sunny and right, that's the thing is, if not for those breezes, we wouldn't be getting as warm as we are today.
Yeah.
So, and then we have some rain coming up for tonight and tomorrow.
Yeah, a little bit of rain shower activity here tonight, tomorrow. We kind of in that, thankfully with this, we're not tracking any cooler weather after it, but we've been in that up and down, that like a little roller coaster ride, you know. We had the 70s and 80s last week. We cooled down over the weekend, and now we're kind of back to the trend. And I don't really see a huge drop in temperatures, even after the 7-day forecast. It'll get a little cooler, but nothing big.
Yeah, not that nonsense 30-degree drop from one day to the next where it's like, okay, like what is going on here?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, much warmer for us today. If you've been outside any time since mid-morning, you've already felt that. It is breezy again with those gusts over 20 miles an hour. And yeah, we have some passing showers, maybe a couple of thunderstorms coming up overnight, and then early tomorrow, probably a break before we see some potential redevelopment later in the day. We'll have that in the hour by hour in just a few minutes. Right now we're at 72 officially in Columbus as of 2 p.m., 70 in Lancaster, 73 London, right now Bellefontaine 73. Eastern towns are a little bit cooler. Now, the reason for that is the warmer air above our heads that's getting mixed down to the ground by those winds, that's coming from the west, so it makes sense that our western towns are a little bit warmer than our eastern towns. And any way you look at it, it is a big change from yesterday. Compared to this time 24 hours ago, we're 24 degrees warmer in Columbus. In fact, numerous spots are 25 degrees warmer across the state. So certainly a big change from this time yesterday. Here are those winds out of the south to southwest at about sustained 15-ish miles an hour. We currently have a gust of 23 miles an hour in Newark, pushing 30 miles an hour in Mansfield. And so far today, we've seen some of those peak gusts up around 30 miles an hour. That'll be the case for the rest of the afternoon before they start to subside later on this evening after sunset. There's that wind gust forecast, again, up around 30 miles an hour for the next several hours, dropping off this evening. And winds tomorrow are going to be lighter. We also have a lot of sunshine to thank for our warm-up. There have been a few clouds drifting on by, especially in our northern and eastern towns. These are going to be thickening as our next weather system approaches. We see that up into the western Great Lakes, this area of low pressure, producing some rain and thunderstorms, even near the Milwaukee area. Severe thunderstorm warning here just after the 2 o'clock hour here locally, 1 p.m. out in Central Time. All right, here's that hour by hour as we see a mostly sunny sky through about mid-afternoon. Then those clouds begin to gradually work in here later on this evening. Still dry this evening, though. It's not until probably close to and after midnight that we start to see some of the scattered shower activity roll in here. Again, wouldn't be surprised if we had a rumble of thunder as this comes through. We'll pause here at 7 a.m. Notice this is primarily in our southern towns by that point. Any shower activity to the north, closer to the I-70 corridor, is going to be light and isolated. So the morning commute for Wednesday in the Columbus metro should be fine the way things are looking right now. This slides off to the south, so late morning, most of the afternoon, things are looking dry. But notice here's 4 p.m. A lot of our computer forecast guidance is showing this little line trying to redevelop in our northeastern towns, slowly drifting south going into the evening hours. It should fall apart somewhat, though, after sunset as it loses the energy from the day. But again, we'll be watching for a few more showers to develop, again, mainly north and east later on tomorrow. Could be a thunderstorm out of that as well. Now, here's your high temperature forecast for the coming days. We're above normal for a while. In fact, even an 80 and an 82 on the board Thursday, Friday. That's more than 10 degrees above average. Looks like next week, though, we have a cool down on the way, and all signs point to next week likely being somewhat below normal as far as temperatures are concerned. So there's a cool down on the way. I'm also seeing some signs that it may be a little unsettled as far as our weather goes, with occasional rain chances maybe every few days. Now, want to point out, too, because we're having the warmer weather today, that first day of summer is 2 months from today. That means our longest amount of daylight is 2 months from now as well. Now, today's amount of daylight is 13 hours and 31 minutes. First day of summer is 15 hours even. So we have about another hour and a half of daylight to gain over the next 2 months. You'll notice we've come up quite a bit since a little over 9 hours on the first day of winter, but things are going to be starting to slow down as far as the amount of daylight we gain every single day. And in 2 months and 1 day, afraid to say we start losing daylight again. All right, breezy today, mostly sunny, mid-70s on the way, about 75 for a high tomorrow as well. Also notice morning lows much warmer, 57 to start our Wednesday. A few showers and storms out there, mainly early in the day, then a few late in the day, but a good share of your Wednesday, the bulk of it is going to be dry, partly sunny skies. Thursday, mostly sunny, 80, 82 on Friday. Could be a few showers and storms that try to work in here. Right now, it looks like the timing is going to favor mainly later in the day. We'll keep an eye on that timing as well. Then we see the shower chance continue on to Saturday, and then the cooler weather starts to settle in going into next week with some more shower chances and highs back in the perhaps upper 60s by early next week.
Yeah, which isn't too bad. I mean, a little cooler, but I feel like that's still pretty close to our normal. I mean, mid to upper 60s getting into next week, probably afterwards a little bit cooler, but it's nice to see the 70s and 80s back at least.
For sure. And yeah, like I said, for late April, those upper 60s, pretty typical stuff. And we'll just have to keep our fingers crossed that we can avoid any further frost for the rest of the season.
Right. Yeah, I know it can still happen even into May, which hopefully we don't have to worry about that. And
fingers crossed.
Good thing, and I mentioned this the last couple of days, is that we don't have to worry about snow getting into May. So I used to work up in Wisconsin. I know you were in Iowa. And there were times when early May, a little bit of snow.
Yeah.
I remember 2013, there was a big storm that actually produced about 6 to 12 inches of snow in North Iowa and southern Minnesota. And I'm like,
I remember
yikes.
that was not a good time. Well, my family goes on vacation in northern Wisconsin every summer, and there are times that the ice isn't even out until 6 weeks before we go. It's just like, this is ridiculous that it's
so
May.
The water's still cold.
Yeah, so I mean, we're end of June and it's still ice up there in some years, even into early May. This year, though, they are a little bit warmer.
Yeah, which is good. I mean, the ice is already off most of those lakes. And as we talk about, our weather forecasting, being a bit calmer here as of late, flooding has remained a big concern across other parts of the Midwest.
Yeah, now because of that flooding, about 400 elementary school students in Wisconsin have nowhere to go this week after their school flooded. This is what happened last Friday as storms rolled through that area. It's going to take several weeks for this Washington Elementary School in Janesville, that's in the southern part of Wisconsin, south of Madison, ready for students to return.
Yeah, and in the meantime, the local Boys and Girls Club and the YMCA are helping parents who need childcare. Officials are hoping to place the students in other schools in the district starting next week.
Yeah, and while the issues in that last story were about too much rain, in other parts of the country, fires are taking hold early as Remain rain's pretty much completely absent.
Yeah, now there's new video out of Florida where a wildfire actually brought a train to basically to a standstill, straining more than 200 people aboard an Amtrak train for nearly 24 hours, which is just wild. CBS News spoke with some of those passengers, and Christian Benavides has all the details.
This raging fire in Putnam County, Florida, has halted multiple trains in their tracks. Hundreds of Amtrak passengers, like Meg Pace, have been stuck nearly 24 hours.
It was incredibly dark.
She and her husband boarded this DeLand, Florida-bound train in Savannah yesterday. She took these photos of a huge plume of gray smoke just outside the train's window.
That black smoke, it was certainly disarming.
John Reardon's train was going to New York City, but he's now headed back to Miami, where he started more than 30 hours ago.
Headed back to Miami at long last.
He says Amtrak has not been forthcoming with information.
They're offering nothing but silence. And what I perceive as contempt for their passengers.
Multiple crews are now battling multiple fires in 2 counties that have merged. More than 3,000 acres have burnt, and it is only 5% contained.
It is not safe for those trains to go through that area with all this erratic fire behavior on both sides of the tracks.
Christian Benavides, CBS News, Miami.
Oh, goodness. Glad we don't have to deal with anything like that around here at late. I mean, we can get wildfires, but thankfully, we've moisten things up enough that even that drought in northwest Ohio has really diminished significantly.
Yeah, I mean, we were watching that for the last, several months as we went from the late summer into the fall. We had pretty expansive drought here in Ohio, and then we got a lot of rain in the central and southern part of the state, but it was that northwest corner that kept it all the way through the winter. And
they could not buy a drop of rain up there.
And they finally got some, though. They're into, I think, just dry conditions to maybe a moderate
There's
drought for a little bit.
little sliver of moderate to actual drought up that direction.
Yeah.
So
better conditions now.
very much so. And well, thankfully, again, we're not dealing with any of those fires here in Ohio. We're enjoying the great outdoors, but that's not without risk, as the tiniest threat is growing: ticks.
Yeah, those are back, and the 2026 outlook for these disease-carrying insects shows cases of Lyme disease are actually expected to rise. Bradley Blackburn has more on how you can protect yourself.
I think there are definitely more ticks.
Lauren Klingsberg doesn't think much about ticks in the middle of Manhattan, but she has a home on New York's Fire Island, known to have a high tick population.
I garden and I have a dog, so I'm out a lot and I get ticks on me all the time.
According to the CDC, each year almost 500,000 Americans are diagnosed and treated for Lyme disease, the most common tick-borne illness. The 2026 tick outlook is expected to continue that trend.
We see a steady increase from year to year, and we expect it to be the same last year and then this year.
Dr. Nicole Baumgarth of the Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health says the upper Northeast is ground zero for ticks. But a warming climate has helped the population expand further north and push west. And while a cold winter can kill ticks, Baumgarth says heavy snow cover this past season actually provided the insects with plenty of moisture.
That keeps them alive, and that's why we are expecting that it's going to be a bad season.
Experts say you have to weigh the bad with the good and not let the tick risk ruin the physical and mental benefits of being outside.
My recommendation is stay away from any vegetation. Stay on the trails. Don't touch anything in terms of limbs or branches or certainly vegetation where they're waiting to latch onto you.
Klingsberg says she takes precautions.
I use permethrin-treated clothing. I tuck my socks into my pants and use insect repellent. And I try to keep my dog out of anything, green. I will walk him either in the middle of the path or on the beach.
You can also take a hot shower when you come home, all ways to still enjoy Mother Nature safely. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
And some interesting developments is that a vaccine is currently in development for Lyme disease. Pfizer and Valneva actually have announced that in clinical trials, the 4-dose Lyme disease vaccine was nearly 75% effective with no major safety concerns.
Yeah, and that would be nice if we could have something like that, just because,
Right.
I mean, Lyme disease and ticks.
Yeah,
and,
you never want to think about that. But you want to get outside and enjoy nature and stuff, but, thinking about ticks being around and stuff, I'm like,
Yeah, I suppose there are the precautions we can take. But anyway, now to some other outdoors news. Earth Day is tomorrow, when the world focuses on protecting our planet and conserving its resources.
And in the travel industry, some hotels and destinations are particularly centered around sustainability. And Wendy Gillette actually reports on their programs.
Young turtles swim and come up for air in the crystal clear turquoise waters off the island of Carriacou, part of Grenada in the southern Caribbean. A boat tour takes snorkelers to deserted islands. And an underwater sculpture park that launched in 2024 to help attract marine life.
Because of the hurricane seasons and the change in climate, that causes damage to the coral reefs.
A second underwater sculpture park is located off Grenada's west coast, the world's first when it was built in 2006.
Why not introduce something that would assist in the growth of coral restoration, but also to be used as an attraction?
The recently opened Six Senses La Sagesse Grenada, the first for the brand in the Caribbean, keeps the focus on sustainability by bottling its own drinking water, using solar panels to heat water for guest rooms, and allowing tourists to create their own natural body products. Some 400 miles north, Golden Rock Dive and Nature Resort on the 8-square-mile island of St. Eustatius, one of those where we stayed for a special rate, 140,000 different types of plants and flowers bloom.
Because we have so many different types of flowers here, the hummingbirds made Golden Rock their habitat.
The sustainability efforts extend to this 20,000-square-foot greenhouse, where herbs, fruits, and vegetables are grown to use in the resort's restaurants.
Reverse osmosis turns seawater water into drinking water, and solar panels generate the electricity.
It's very important for us to save the environment. I mean, everybody says it, but we're actually putting it into practice, investing in it.
The luxury travel network Virtuoso just surveyed its advisors about sustainability, finding more than half of clients prioritize avoiding overcrowded destinations.
They're choosing to travel off-season to have a better experience, but also to benefit the local economies.
Golden Rock has its own dive center for scuba in a protected marine reserve, another way to sustainably explore our planet. Wendy Gillette, CBS News.
All right, finally today, let's check out some new video into us here at 10 TV. Some proof that even as we get warmer in parts of the country, the snow and wintry weather just continue to hold on. This is from Tuesday morning as a storm brought rain in the valley and snow in the Sierra.
Gotta love that, right? Yeah. I mean, it's not uncommon for them to get the snow up there in the Sierra Nevada mountains there in California. And CBS 13 video journalist Dave Grashoff actually drove in near Sugar Bowl, checking out the conditions. Big flaky snow was falling for much of that area and the high elevation, of course, but not actually sticking to the ground. So Caltrans did not need to enforce their tire chain regulations that they normally do when they get that very heavy snowfall along Interstate 80. And the ski lifts out there were not actually in use, but you can see it right there. Well, at least a little bit of snow, but kind of getting to the point where the season's starting to wind down. But I know it's been good for a lot of those areas, especially out in the Sierra Nevada mountains, the Cascades, to really get a good snowpack to then help fill up some of the lakes and rivers as we get into this season now.
Yeah, they had a good start to the wet season out there, but then things just really slowed down in a big way. So I'm sure even though the snow doesn't amount to a whole lot of moisture, it's at least something to bookend their season with. But yeah, there's some big Charlie Brown snowflakes there. That's good stuff. Finally, construction on the Wallace-Annenberg Wildlife Crossing is causing another road closure. Starting Monday morning, a road is going to be closed, and the road was not closed at the time CBS LA's chopper flew over the crossing. Those are always cool to see.
Yeah, and the road closures aside, how cool is this? You can see the structure there, and just the goal of these crossings is to actually connect areas of wildland so that provided animals actually have a safe passage over these highways, so they don't have to worry about, of course, incidents where cars end up hitting some animals and other wildlife, and reducing the number of vehicle crashes over time, as well as just keeping the local animal population safe.
Yep, finding out that's a safe way to go. Always a cool thing to see those structures. But yeah, it'll be neat when that's all done, and hopefully it doesn't take too long for any of those critters that need to get across to say, hey, here's my way.
Yeah.
That's a safe way to go.
They found their little path there.
Exactly. Very good stuff.
Yeah. And our weather's, really good. We got a lot of sunshine today. We've been tracking the gusty winds. I think we'll get some gusts over 30 miles per hour. But overall, it's going to still be fairly decent here. We got 75 tomorrow. I am curious about the showers that are coming in tonight into tomorrow, and maybe a thunderstorm tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, wouldn't be at all surprised if we have that. Kind of bookending the day, honestly, with the rain chances. You may get up tomorrow morning and be like, okay, it looks like the rain's not here, and then you may not get anything until later in the evening. So most of tomorrow is going to be dry, but especially the southern towns of the morning drive could be a little on the wet side. But overall, not a bad looking 7-day forecast.
Yeah, nothing too wild. I mean, we don't have any severe weather threats, which is good. Some more severe weather potential out in the western states and the Great Plains that we've been watching. Of course, they've had so much severe weather last week. Multiple days with tornadoes, hail, and damaging wind gusts from parts of Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, all the way up to Minnesota, Iowa, Wisconsin. And some of those areas may actually see severe weather as we get, I would say, I think Thursday into Friday is kind of those two big days that they're watching. So it's that time of year where severe weather season really does start to heat up, and I'm sure we'll get our fair share at some point as we continue on through the spring.
Yes, indeed. I'm certain that is the case, but at least for right now, looks like garden variety thunderstorms, if any of that does develop. But for now, enjoy your afternoon. Enjoy the nice weather. Of course, try to avoid the breezes and avoid those ticks that apparently are a bit of an issue out there. But aside from that, we will have additional weather updates starting at 4 o'clock on 10 TV. And of course, 10tv.com is another place you can go to get your weather updates whenever you need them. So in the meantime, have a great afternoon.